All right. Do we have any love now? Do we have any auto? Matthew Davis, can you hear me? Am I coming through, man? Give me some love, one way or the other. Hello, audio. Yes. You know what? Turn it off and turn it on again. I think is step one on any help desk, IT support technician worth their weight in gold turns it off and on again. I do apologize. Obviously, I take a lot of pride in these Simply Cyber productions, and you know, when they go sideways, you gotta you gotta deal with it. Let me just continue getting my setup tight. All right, let me open this up. Let me start over because I had a really good thing to share with you all. Welcome to welcome to First Things First. It's today's cybersecurity threat briefing with commentary, coffee, and friends. Thank you, Candace Hughes, for that tagline. I appreciate all of you coming back and staying with me while we work through some technical stuff. Hey, Wayne, good to see you. Kenton, perfect. Eugene from Canada, I love it. Guys, we're going to be ripping through the top stories today, get you all set up for your day of work, and potentially, just blowing back the hair of anyone interviewing you for a job when they ask you, how do you stay current? You're like, sit down, buckle up. This is going to be a ride. Oh, yeah. So good. Okay. Well, hey, Ran. Yeah, it was audio. Like, so you guys know, like because I can pipe in the podcast and because I do the sound effects and all that crap, I have to run everything through software before it comes out of my audio channel. And sometimes, it's a Mac, it's an M1 chip. It's not perfect. So let me get the podcast. If you guys want to play along, as you know, we go to cisoseries.com and we are running through the top headlines for January 12th. We are a little behind because of my technical issues, but we'll get through that. I do have an 8:30 meeting. Okay, so Dave O'Neill, guys. Hey, Saudi Arabia, I love it. I love it. Thank you for being here with us. Anas, I'm glad that you're watching the replays. I hope you guys get the value. Hey, Jax, good to see you as always. Gotta love that spicy Kayla. Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. I gotta tell you real quick before we get into the story. I see you guys sharing this on social media, and I assume it's because you enjoy it and you want others to see it. And the numbers of people who have been joining us every morning has been growing steadily as we've been doing it. So thank you so much. I'm really honored to see. Like, to me, that indicates that there's real value for you all, and that you're enjoying this as much as I am. So it makes me feel good. I love this stuff. All right, so let's get. Hey, nice job, Brendan. Nice job. Look at this Cisco Cyber Ops course. No big deal. No big deal. Just crushing it. Just crushing it. Trinidad Tobago up in this place. I love it. Not only IT. See, we're going to see Nuke Tech up in here in a minute. BSEC. All right, guys, let's get into the top news stories of the day. I hope you can hear this podcast.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
There we go.
It's Wednesday, January 12th, 2022. Apple to allow third-party app payment options in South Korea. The Korea Communication Commission said on Tuesday that Apple has submitted its compliance plans to allow developers to use third-party payment options in South Korea at a reduced service fee. In September 2021, South Korea's parliament passed the world's first bill preventing global tech giants from forcing developers to use their in-app billing systems. An Apple spokesperson touted the company's respect for Korean law and history of collaboration with their developers, adding, quote, "Our work will always be guided by keeping the App Store a safe and trusted place for our users to download the apps they love," end quote. Meanwhile, Google responded to the legislation, alternatively dubbed the anti-Google law, by proposing to reduce developer fees by 4% while continuing to utilize their own billing systems.
So, how funny is this that Apple, the one who is like, you got to be in our ecosystem or or die, is willing to do this third party thing, and Google, who's like, you get a development kit, you get a development kit, you get a development kit, is like, oh, this is anti Google. So I think it's interesting. again, this is a little less of a cybersecurity story, but what I would point out, or I find interesting, again, you got to follow the money, people. Like, I know we all love technology. I know we all love getting our hands dirty, but like business is all about the money. Oh, Jesus, BSEC, you got me there for a second. So follow the money. Like, listen, Apple like Apple and Epic Games, who makes Fortnite, went head to head because Epic Games didn't want Apple to take a big a piece of the Fortnite pie as they did. And for it, Fortnite pulled or Epic pulled Fortnite off of Apple altogether. And Apple was okay with losing that money. And Fortnite's like $1 billion video game. For Apple to allow third-party payment apps in South Korea, to me, means that they must be making a ton of money in South Korea, that it's, the return on investment, it warrants them accepting this. Of course, once you introduce third-party payment apps, it's either the security of that becomes the ownership or the onus of that third party. I'm sure Apple's pushing liability of compromises and stuff to that third party. So it is what it is. So let's keep rolling.
Hotel
Dylan.
chain switches to Chrome OS to recover from ransomware attack. Last month, Nordic Choice Hotels was hit with Conti ransomware disrupting operations, but instead of paying the ransom, the company was able to recover from the incident by migrating its entire PC fleet from Windows to Chrome OS. The hotel chain indicated that by using a tool called Cloud Ready, it was able to convert 2,000 computers to its Chrome OS ecosystem in just 2 days, restoring operations to 212 hotels in 5 countries. Prior to the attack, the hotel had already run a pilot program to test the tool as a way of reusing old computers with a less demanding OS. The hotel chain said they expect to migrate 2,000 additional computers and estimate savings of $6.7 million by avoiding the need to buy new hardware.
Yeah, that's a good point, BSEC, about the apps. Guys, this is insane. Like the fact that they had been piloting this is the only reason that this was able to succeed. 2 days to recover your entire 200 hotel operation is bananas. Bananas. You can't recover to the existing OS in 2 days, let alone transition to Chromium or Chrome OS, which I don't even know how that works with AD integration. Because they're clearly, like, I don't know why they wouldn't be on Active Directory. This is insane. Good on them. I guarantee you their IT staff didn't sleep, got free coffee, probably some type of bonus, or they should get some type of bonus. This is bananas that they were able to do this. 2,000 computers to Chrome OS. Because it's not just converting the computers to Chrome OS. Like, let's say they had infinite money. Like, you could go to, whatever. I mean, this is a bit hyperbolic, but go to Best Buy and buy 2,000 Chromium OSs and distribute them to everyone. And now everyone's got a working computer. But like critical system applications, workflow processes, back-end system integration, like a million things. The printers, mapping the printers, right? Like drivers. Like, it sounds simple when you're like in a boardroom and you're like, oh yeah, you just flip a switch and you recover. In reality, if you're an engineer, especially on the IT side, you know exactly what's going on. This is incredibly impressive. In fact, this might even be a case study. I wouldn't be surprised if Google came out with like a white paper on how you can use Chrome OS to recover from a ransomware in 2 days, because this is fantastic. Wow.
Hackers leveraging Log4j to install Night Sky ransomware.
Ooh.
Microsoft says that suspected China-based cyber criminals, which it tracks as dev-0401, are targeting the Log4Shell flaw in internet-facing systems running VMware's Horizon product to install Night Sky, a new ransomware strain that emerged on December 27th. The financially motivated attacks target the original Log4Shell flaw tagged as CVE-2021-44228. Microsoft said customers should use scripts and scanning tools to assess their risk and impact, but warned that attackers may be using the same inventory techniques to locate targets.
Okay, so no surprise here. I mean, this is just, it says double extortion, which I assume means they're ransoming, they're encrypting the system's data and exfiltrating it and selling it. And Wayne Shaw, I saw your message there. That is a big question. Let's move that to like an AMA or something. guys, basically this is what you could expect. Log4j of internet-facing systems are being extorted or ransomwared, and basically it has to do with if this the Log4j is running in VMware Horizon, which is what's being exploited. No surprise, right? It's internet facing. Shodan at this point, because it was like December 19th when Log4j dropped. Like at this point, Shodan has run over the entire internet and captured these things. So finding them, like threat actors are doing their own scans. Finding these vulnerabilities is not hard. Like the fact that the U.S. government said, CISA said, if you don't patch Log4j immediately, you're going to have some trouble from the government. Just kind of points to how obvious and serious it is to not have this internet facing. So again, if you work in IT or infosec, and you should have already definitely been looking for Log4j, found it, had some remediation or mitigation, meaning make it not internet facing, for example, etc. Just as a quick plug, because I've started using this to help me professionally, and I think it's really cool. Like everybody knows about Shodan.io, which is like the search engine for the Internet of Things, but you can sign up for I think it's like $50 a month or $50 a year. Obviously, this is a business expense, not like an individual expense. And you can have it regularly scanning like internet-facing IP ranges, like your external IP range, and reporting back to you what vulnerabilities there are. So instead of going to Shodan, typing in your IP ranges and manually doing it, you can basically get a dashboard out of Shodan that reports on your IP ranges. It's pretty cool. It's worth checking out, and it's cheap compared to other security tools like Tenable.io or Tenable SE or okay.
Microsoft Patch Tuesday addresses 6 0 days.
Yeah, you can do it via their API if you want to develop your own custom scripts and stuff. I didn't have time for that, but you got a great point, BSEC. But the dashboard it showed is really, it's good. It's cool. At least it gives you that visibility, so you can be like, oh crap, my pants are down.
Microsoft's January Patch Tuesday bug fixes address 96 security flaws, including updates for 6 0-day vulnerabilities. Microsoft has fixed problems including remote code execution exploits, privilege escalation flaws, spoofing issues, and cross-site scripting vulnerabilities affecting a number of its products, including Microsoft Exchange Server, Office applications, Windows Defender, Windows Kernel, RDP, cryptographic services, Windows Certificate, and Microsoft Teams. While the 0-day flaws should be patched as soon as possible, Microsoft indicates that none of them have been observed being exploited in the wild.
Okay, so good news. It's Patch Tuesday. Well, you know what I mean? Patch your stuff if you can. Start with the DMZ, work your way in if you have to, endpoints, remote workforce, etc. There was a significant amount of crap that they said here, right? Remote code execution, a lot of vulnerabilities with actual security tools like Defender. So, guys, this is vulnerability management, patch your stuff, right? It sounds easy, again, to the board or to people who don't know, but this, people are still wrapping up December 21's Patch Tuesday. It is a full-time gig, especially, as you scale up your organization, right? If you have 1,000 endpoints, you can't yes, a good portion of them are going to get the update. Fine, no big deal. But a portion of them, it's going to break apps. Some of them can't take it. Some of them you got to revert back. The servers, that's a whole thing all on its own. So it's not easy, and it requires dedicated focus. Just as a quick aside, I've always been of the philosophy in an information security office, the first person that you get in the information security office that isn't wearing multiple hats is like a jack of all trades kind of person. The next person is dedicated to incident response and security operations. The next person is threat and vulnerability management. And then the next person would be GRC or another incident response person, depending on how hot a radioactive zone you've got for an enterprise and security controls. So that's just my thoughts around that. But threat and vulnerability management does require a dedicated person, usually because it's patching on IT. You get a lot of matrix support from the IT people, IT operations, endpoint management, if you're a big enough company to have that.
And now, a word from our sponsor. BlackBerry
Skip.
Solution do that? Get prevention first security. Visit blackberry.com to see the Cylance
Oh, this is a good
AIML
title.
demo, Prevent Malware. Millions of routers remotely exposed to USB kernel bug. Sentinel-1 has discovered a high-severity remote code execution flaw in the K-Code's NetUSB kernel module, affecting millions of routers from manufacturers including Netgear, TP-Link, D-Link, and Western Digital. The module enables remote devices to connect to routers over IP and access any USB devices that are plugged into them. The researchers noted that attackers could remotely exploit the vulnerability to execute code in the kernel via a pre-authentication buffer overflow security vulnerability. Sentinel Labs has distributed a patch to all impacted vendors who have either fixed it or are in process of fixing the issue, noting that end-of-life routers may not receive an update.
Okay, so this is good. This is an end user, not really a corporate, unless you're a small business. This is an end user kind of concern. These are the products around the routers that are the issue, which, these are clearly not what are they, what's the term, like not residential, like commercial grade, or guess, I don't know what the word is, guys. My brain's not working, but this is for end users, right? So maybe you take an opportunity to educate your end user community. Realistically, most end users aren't technical and they're not going to know whether or not they're running Western Digital or D-Link or Netgear or whatever. So this is just interesting. The scope of this risk is legit because a lot of people will plug a NAS in to their router, so they have kind of a dedicated thing, but that NAS would actually be plugged in over RJ45, not USB. I don't know how many USB things you're plugging into your router. Maybe I'm closed-minded and not thinking big, but it's a cool novel trick. Watch out, for your USB devices plugged in, but for the most part, I don't really think of too many USB devices plugged into routers. So whatever. If you have one of these, or if you're a small business or a little MSP that supports small businesses, you could see these devices in the ecosystem. It's a novel attack. And it's worth mentioning, most people don't update routers firmware very often. It's kind of an overlooked piece of the IT ecosystem for management. So, might be a good time to do an annual refresh on your firmware.
Security shortfalls ranked top roadblock to IT modernization. According to the 2022 Intelligent Technology Report from Insight Enterprises, Inc., 400 IT leaders have ranked the top internal hindrance to organizational IT modernization as security shortcomings at 40%, followed by shadow IT at 36%, and competing internal priorities at 35%. 51% of IT leaders named security as their top organizational priority when it comes to cloud integration. The survey also indicates that the COVID-19 pandemic may be amplifying the barriers to modernization, as 78% of IT leaders reported taking on new cybersecurity tasks in 2021.
Okay, yeah, so no big deal. It's kind of funny that security is the top priority of IT leaders, yet 40% identify security shortcomings as the reason for that. Here's an idea: invest in security. I don't know, crazy thought. Put some money at it, hire people, right? We got 1 million people who need a job in security. Why don't you throw some of that cash at them? Shadow IT is a real thing. I will say that securing the cloud is a real thing. I got involved with John Helmus's dissertation research just yesterday. He interviewed me, and he's looking at cloud and cloud security and the risks of cloud security that are present. Some interesting research coming out of there. No big deal. This headline should not surprise you. Cybersecurity is the top risk at any organization. It has been for 3 years because they're not investing in it. They just want to squeeze their IT people for more.
Hacking group accidentally infects itself with remote access Trojan.
Oh, we covered this yesterday.
Indian hacking group known as Patchwork, and also known as the Hangover Group, Dropping Elephant, China Strats, and Monsoon, have been observed successfully using spear phishing attacks to compromise numerous Pakistani institutions, including the Ministry of Defense and multiple universities. However, Malwarebytes researchers have uncovered that back in January, Patchwork managed to infect themselves with their very own bad news remote access Trojan, exposing the criminals' own keystrokes, as well as keyboard layouts, virtual applications, and screenshots of their computers, revealing the weather report at the time and that their Java applications were in need of updates.
Okay, I'm not going to belabor this because we talked about it yesterday. Bad guys make mistakes too. These guys nuked themselves, exposed all of their tradecraft and tooling. Poor OPSEC. You know, it is what it is. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that text message come in, because that just blew my ears out. I'm not going to spend much time on this. But yeah, this happened. This is a good story. We covered it in yesterday's First Things First. You know, you got to practice good OPSEC.
Police caught chasing Snorlax instead of robbers. 2 Los Angeles police officers were fired for chasing a relatively rare Pokemon Go character called Snorlax rather than chasing fleeing robbers. Back in 2017, Luis Lozano
You can't make this up. You can't make this up, man.
and Eric Mitchell had been on patrol when Macy's department store was robbed, and after which they ignored a call for backup. The pair denied playing the game, but court documents reveal that, quote, for approximately the next 20 minutes, video captured the petitioners discussing Pokemon as they drove to different locations where the virtual creatures apparently appeared on their mobile phones, end quote. Their representation argued that their private conversations captured by in-car recordings should not have been used as evidence, but their argument was denied.
Okay. So I was like, how is this security related? This is funny. It is sad, because you would hope that the people who are charged with protecting and maintaining order would, you know, take that charge seriously. I do find it interesting. So the cybersecurity bend here is that the in-car audio, like whether it's the car itself or their chest cam that's constantly recording, could have been admitted as evidence, which basically proved that they were driving around talking about Snorlax and, evolving in Z loaders, and not Z loaders. I was trying to pull some words that my kids use, but I don't know, Betamax or whatever. Yeah, I don't see how that you could possibly. I feel like that was like a Hail Mary attempt to say that, oh, that doesn't count because we have some level of privacy. No, like that's public. That audio is public material as far as I'm concerned, and like you're in the capacity of public service right now. So, bro, like good Hail Mary, but I'm glad it got knocked down in the end zone. Suck it. Like this is ridiculous. Like whatever. I'd feel so. Can you imagine calling the police and they'd be like, "Nah, brah. Like I just dropped like a lure in this park, and you know I need to catch me some Eevees." Gross. All right. So sorry guys for Snorlax used excessive force. Yes. Guys, I want to remind you, first of all, thank you for staying with me through the AV issues we had at the beginning. Sincerely appreciate it. I love that you guys stuck with me and did all that. This Thursday, tomorrow afternoon, we are going to be meeting with Mike Jones, aka the Haunted Hacker. We are going to be doing some fun discussions. It will be cybersecurity related, but it's around how you can pivot into the industry or pivot from in the industry into the industry, right? Mike's got a really interesting story, an interesting background, and I think it can be really quite inspiring for so many people. Guys, this has been First Things First. I do it every day. Tomorrow will be at noon. I start teaching at university tomorrow. We're going to work through it together. We'll figure out if noon works. If we do 8 a.m. noon, etc., we'll figure it out. But guys, you've been wonderful. Love seeing the chat. Love seeing the comments. Be good to each other. We'll see you guys tomorrow at noon, okay? Tomorrow at noon. Look for the go live. Hit the bell for notifications. Literally, I don't say that as like a YouTuber trying to get some clicks. Like literally, sometimes I don't have the ability to like schedule it. It just goes live. So the bell notifies you and says, "What's up? Jerry's doing some stuff." Take care, y'all. Have good.